What is up, guys? Steve here with Scotch and Things. Hey, it's been about a month. Excuse me. Been about a month since I started carrying this for work. And so I got this in, got it from a viewer. I was lucky enough, I've been kind of passively chasing a Zaan for years. Excuse me, took a drink. After I got my first Chris Reeve, a large Sebenza 21, and then a small Sebenza 21, I started looking, and I liked the Zaan. I liked the idea of the Zaan, of it being kind of the more heavy-duty version or offering from them for a folding knife. And they had just come out with S45 VN, and I was really okay with getting one in S35, but just so happened a viewer mentioned that they had just got one from a drop that I had missed out on from DLT in S45, and it was a Tonto. I love their Tonto blades, and I scooped it up from him. So, and then here's kind of where, you know, the path varies, or like the journey for this knife varies. I got it in, I was so excited to carry it. And how I get, you know, when I get a new knife, I carry it for a month. I EDC only that night. Like I carry a big knife and a small knife on me all the time. That way, because I like knives, that way I can have two knives. And, you know, sometimes you're in a situation where you can't pull out a big knife and a small knife is handy. But like many of us who enjoy knives, we carry multiple ones, and it's just an excuse for us to carry multiple knives. But, you know, and I have a bunch of knives that I've got that still need to be carried. So I got this in, and I thought, you know what, shoot, I'm going to use this at work. I'm going to make this a dedicated work knife. And it's kind of scary, this being a $400 and some knife, being a work knife. Because my work knives, like some of my, you know, my EDC knives, come on guys, what are we doing with our EDC knives? We're cutting open boxes and stuff like that, packages. They're not seeing a whole lot of hard use, even though they're made for it. But my work knives, on the other hand, really kind of get put to the test and do a lot of cutting through different materials, plastic banding, cardboard, you name it. I'm cutting, you know, rope. I mean, just all sorts of weird stuff on the job site. We build grain bins. Everything comes boxed up. Sometimes there's some light prying. Even though, like, in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna use this as a pry bar. I've always got a hammer or something. You know, if I need to unbox a crate or something, there's always a better tool than ruining my knife. So, or attempting to ruin my knife. So, what my work knives, you know, like I said, it's cutting lots of plastic bags, plastic buckets. The bolts come in a big bucket, and it's got like a sealed top, and you got to pull this perforated where it's kind of and like the seal rips around so you can get the lid off. Well, sometimes the little pull thing rips on them, so you got to kind of cut around it with your knife to get this thing off. So cutting through plastic. Let's see what else. I mean, lots of cardboard. Gosh, guys. I mean, there is some light prying. I've used them as screwdrivers before. Like the spine, every once in a while, you know, you don't have the right tool on you, you know, so you whip out your knife and I'll use the spine of my knife for, you know, to hold a screw or a bolt with like a straight slot in it, especially on like older grain bins when we're tearing them down or doing repair work. They had different bolts that they used back then, and so it's like a you know, a straight slotted screw basically, but it's a bolt. And you know, all of a sudden you get to that and you don't have the right tool on you and you're in a hurry, so you just whip your knife out and put that in there so you can get the bolt and nut separated. So there you go, kind of rambling. Foam, a lot of foam material, just, you know, for, you know, sealant around doors, stuff like that. Constantly cutting, caulking tubes, the tips off that. So just general work stuff. And they do get pretty grimy if you watch. So last year, I made the decision to carry my Microtech Ultratech all summer. And that knife got beat up. But I wanted to see if it was a really hard use knife. Needed a lot of cleanings because we do work in very dirty work environments. If we're outside in the dirt, and if it's dust, I mean, you're just covered if it's a windy day in dirt. Sometimes we're in grain bins with grain in them, or an old grain bin tearing it down, and it's just that grain dust. If you know what I'm talking about, it's just a very fine dust, and it gets in and on everything. So that Ultratech, it was really kind of put to the test. It would get grimed up pretty good. So there, you've heard, sorry, 5 minutes of rambling. So I got this knife and I thought, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna carry this for a year, or you know what? I say for the summer. So our seasons are like, you know, early spring through late fall. We usually end sometime in December. So I thought I'd carry this for this season and see how it does. Maybe something more appropriate will come in, but actually after a month, I'm so in love with carrying this knife for work, even though, you know, kind of spendy. God, and the action is phenomenal. This thing is smoothed out so nice. Oops, messed that one up. I mean, it just has been a great knife. And you can see, I mean, I've got gunk on there right now from it. We're just cutting open packages and whatnot. Black crud, but so far so good, guys. I mean, it's starting to get some wear on it. You know, Chris Reeves, they'll get snail trails and they'll really kind of show some character after a while. So this might be kind of a journey throughout the summer with videos. So I'm gonna take a drink. With this knife, kind of like I did with my Microtech last year, and we'll see how it goes. I'll show you if I need to clean it, but so far after a month, I mean, it's super smooth. This thing is butter. Oh God, you know what? This is really hard to do behind the camera. I brag about how smooth this thing is, but I'm messing this up. There we go. It just, all the time, especially with gloves on, this thing is super easy to open. But so that's just kind of some of the stuff that my work knives go through. A ton of cutting. We'll see how the edge holds up. So far, fairly good after a month. I mean, it's still cutting, it's still sharp. I'll let you know how it goes. That's not saying that I might not replace this throughout the summer with something else. I'm not sure, because in my mind, I had bought a Recon 1. A Cold Steel Recon 1 was going to be my work knife for the year. But it was just, it might be down here actually. It was just too big, if that makes sense. Coming from a guy who likes, I don't know where the heck it is. Coming from a guy who likes big knives, I just think it was the design on the Recon 1. It was too gangly, too awkward. That lockback design with the triad lock, it just, for one hand, it was just a pain in the ass. It's an awesome knife. It's an awesome knife. I'll probably throw it in my camper or something, or one of my packs. It's an awesome knife, and I like it, but for work, it was too big, if that makes sense. It was just too, I couldn't really choke up on it, so it was kind of unwieldy. It was hard to control the blade. I had used it briefly for like a week when we first started this year, and I don't know if you get what I'm saying. It was too big, and I couldn't make it feel like a small knife. So I just unboxed this bad boy yesterday, which is a monster. It's a monster. And out here, it's big, and it's, you know, you kind of got some control. But what I like is you can choke up on these things, and much like with this, especially with gloves on, I can choke up and really make this feel like a small knife. You know, I can make some precision cuts. And I just felt with the Recon 1, I couldn't do that. And I can with this. So before I got this, I was set on, I was gonna get a 187 flipper and use that. I still might, and then I can use this as an EDC knife. But honestly, guys, my thoughts are I'm just going to make this a dedicated work knife. When the season's over, we'll take a look at it. You know, if it's super beat on, I might just ship it back off to Chris Reeve then and let them do a spa thing on it. And so it's fresh and new for next season. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think I should do with it. Like I said, I'll do some more updated videos and let you know how it's doing throughout the summer. But I need to clean that blade. But so far, so good. It's doing everything I need my work knives to do. And I don't know. We'll see how it holds up, guys. We'll find out if this is a super hard use knife. Like I said, after a month, I've had 0 issues, 0 complaints. It's done everything I needed to do. There hasn't been you know, anything yet where I pull back and don't use my knife. So I'm never afraid to pull this out and use it. So I don't know, guys. There you go. Kind of a weird video, but this will probably be a series like it was last year with the Microtech, because that did really well. I'll just be honest with you, that was a pretty good series. You know, if I had issues, I made a video on it. I did some cleaning videos on it, and I'll probably do that with this. I don't see really any issues. This is a lot simpler, more, I guess, justifiable knife to use for the kind of work I'm doing. That Ultratech was kind of put in a difficult situation, and it did great. So I'm expecting this thing to do superb. So, but I'm absolutely loving it. Just kind of wanted to give you guys a month EDC update, a work EDC update on this, since you wouldn't, you know, get one on it traditionally, because it's not a knife that's in my rotation right now. It's in my rotation, but it's in my work rotation. And honestly, during the summer, my work knives get carried way more than my EDC knives, just because we are working a ton. Like, I was just home for a couple days, and tomorrow we're heading out for 10 or so days on the road, and then we'll be home for a couple days, and I'm back at it again. But there you go, guys. Chris Reeve Umnumzaan, or the Zaan in S45 VN. Let's see how this bad boy holds up this summer. So stay tuned, like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think down below. Would you use a knife this expensive as a hard use work knife? I'm kind of getting, you know, that Microtech. I've got a lot of expensive knives, guys, and each one in my head I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna use it as a work knife, and they never quite make it there. So this is the most, you know, the Microtech was the most expensive knife I'd ever carried on the job site, but now this Zaan is taking its place. So we'll see how it does. I don't think there'll be any issues, but if it gets grimy and I need to clean it, I'll show you guys that, and I'll give you periodic updates throughout the summer on how it's doing. But that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later.